Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Ruth Finney. Welcome to the ABCs of the ABCs of tongue types. That's what we're doing this morning. We're doing the ABCs of tongue types. So this morning we are talking about the gamer. The gamer. This is that person that likes to play games, practical jokes, pranks, mind games, whatever it is. This is the person that likes to play. So that's what we're talking about this morning. I'll wait just a couple of minutes, see if people come in. If not, we'll go ahead and get started and talk about how we can deal and handle with this gamer type person because, it can be difficult when you're trying to be in a relationship and the person is always playing games. Okay, so when we grew up, when we were young, a lot of us used to, play practical jokes and pranks and, do all kinds of things because it was fun, right? It was a good time and it, caused us to be able to laugh. Everyone would, have a good time with it. It might be April Fools. Now people do it on social media. Like it's like a huge thing on social media to, play practical jokes and pranks on people. Good morning, Levi. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about the gamer this morning, that person that likes to play games all the time when you're trying to be in a relationship, maybe serious or whatever the situation is. So, like I said, we grow up, playing jokes and pranks and all that good stuff on people. So it's not uncommon for this to be a part of a relationship. But as we grow and mature, often, we develop an understanding of when playing games is appropriate, when it's, not appropriate, who you can, play games with and mess with, who you can't. You typically know when to stop. Right. But the gamer sometimes has a hard time stopping, knowing when it's inappropriate or knowing when they've gone too far or, when they've hurt someone or when their intentions are no longer just to get laughs. So that's what happens with this sort of gamer type tongue. So what often starts off as, practical jokes or pranks usually turns into mind games. And mind games can become addictive because they basically represent that desire for power and control. And, so when people want to have that power and control over you, or they feel like they can have that over you and they're getting it over you, then they want to do it more and more. So that's the sort of the danger with mind games. So that's what I wanted to talk about this morning. If you are in a relationship with someone, or if you are and you have to deal with these games, these types of mind games, how you can go about combating that issue and hopefully get them to do something different. Good morning, Eve. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome in. Good to see you, my sister. Often when the gamer type person is that person who's trying to coerce you, into doing something that they want, it may be an attempt to, intimidate you, to make you feel less than so that they feel more powerful. And it may be an attempt to isolate you, to get you to, not be aware of things going on so that you're not as knowledgeable as they are about a situation or whatever the issue is. They want you to stay clueless so that they can, again, maintain power and control. They can also be used to abuse a person and use a person, take advantage of people. So, people play mind games for all kinds of reasons. And also, they may want you to be dependent upon them, right? They don't want you to be dependent upon others. They want you to look for them and look to them to fulfill all their needs, again, because they want all that. The goal is for them to win and for the opponent to feel defeated, right? That's the overall objective of that gamer. So how do we deal with these gamers? We can try to beat them at their own game if that's what we do. But typically that kind of starts a war, right? So they do something, or you feel like they're playing games with you, and so you decide to do something back. And next thing you know, It's this back and forth tit for tat thing. And both of you end up getting hurt, right? Nothing is resolved. Nothing is improved, and you're both upset or hurting. And it can even get dangerous, right? Because then now you can start to become vengeful towards each other, wanting to see each other get hurt. And if you're trying to be in a relationship, we're not trying to hurt each other, right? We're trying to, stay in good connection with one another. So it's a waste of time and typically not worth it trying to, play games or score the other person with the mind game. So you have to be really careful with that. So depending on the type of gamer that you are dealing with, there's several ways that you can respond. So one thing you can do is, let the person know, hey, I'm on to you. I can tell that you're trying to do this. I see you trying to manipulate that, or I don't appreciate that. And just letting them know, or, how you feel about it can, get them to back off and be like, okay, they're on to me, or I see that they don't like this, or I've rubbed them the wrong way, and they may back off. But then there's that other type of gamer mindset. Good morning, Shanita Marie randomly. How are you? Good to see you, sis. Everybody's loving the video. I've shown it to, several of my friends and family, and they just thought you were spot on. So thank you so much for spoofing me. I feel honored, and I feel officially famous because I have been spoofed by the Shanita Marie. But yes, thank you. We've been getting lots of laughs out of it, I promise. You were so kind, truly you were. For those of you who are new to my channel or unfamiliar with Shanita Marie, she has a comedy channel where she does a lot of imitations, and she chose me for one of her daily vlogs and, imitated me, and it was just hilarious. So please go check that out. Harrison, good morning. How are you now? She didn't get me down. She didn't get me down. She did. I think she did. So good job. Good job, Miss Shanita. So how do we, getting back to how we deal with these gamers people, right? We can call them to the carpet and get them to, back down. But if they're that type of person that feeds off you, being upset, they want that emotional reaction. They want you to be, upset, or they're intentionally trying to, make you upset or anger you or make you feel bothered, whatever, then you talking to them about how you feel about it is going to do the exact opposite. They're going to be like, good, I got them where I want them, right? So you have to be careful. It just depends on what type of gamer you are dealing with, because in those instances, it may be best to ignore them. It may be best to, be as non-reactive as you can, or act as unbothered as you can so that you can, not give them what they want and try to get them to back off. If they see that they're not being effective, then hopefully that will, get them to back off playing those games. But if they see that they are, then they're definitely, going to do more and more of that. So let's look at some common ways that gamers like to, that gaming tongue likes to play games, and see how we can kind of talk our way through it. So a lot of times that gaming tongue is that person who, the type of mind games that they try to play is when they're trying to, cause you to be jealous, right? They're trying to create some jealousy in your life. So they can be acting like somebody else is in the picture, or that someone outside of the relationship is a potential threat to the relationship, trying to get you to feel a certain kind of way, right? Because they're looking for some attention. They may need to feel, valuable or validated. They may be trying to get you to make a decision about something that you're not ready to make a decision on. But really, ultimately, they probably just need to feel loved and more needed, and need to have a better understanding of, where they are in the relationship, and they need some assurance. So, they go about trying to make you feel jealous to get a reaction out of you. Or to get you, or to manipulate you into doing something that you may not be quite ready to do yet. Whatever the situation is, that's part of that gaming tongue, that gaming personality. So how do we combat this? Well, when we know their intentions, right? When we know that they're really, intentionally trying to make us jealous, we can be as honest and open and as straightforward with them as possible. That's typically the best way to handle them. If you're dating someone, this is where that conversation may sound like, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm ready for. This is what I'm not ready for. If, this is where you are, then I'm not interested in going down that road with you. If you want to be with someone else, or if you're potentially interested in someone else, please go pursue that. Or if you are interested in the person and you want to be serious, then let them know that as well. Hey, I'm trying to have, something real here with you, something lasting here with you. And I, if other people are in the picture for you, then let me know and we can move on and do something different. Good morning, A Positive Lifestyle. How are you? Thank you. Please hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button if you are not a part of this talk family. So good to see you. Welcome in A Positive Lifestyle. So, let them know. Let them know up front where you are. What the deal is for you, so that they will either stop trying to make you jealous or decide, well, you know what, maybe I am more interested in this person than someone else. But if you are married, then you want to make sure, and they're playing jealousy games. Again, you want to be honest and not be honest about what it is that you're bothered by. For instance, when we're not honest, people make assumptions and they have expectations about what we might be doing. So let them know. Let's see, I'm sorry, trying to piece out my notes here a little bit where I was thinking when I was talking about this. Okay, so if you're married, right, and the person is trying to make you jealous, then obviously that's not going to go down well in a marriage, right? We're in a marriage together, and this ability you trying to make me jealous is not typically going to go over well. So let them know, hey, we're together. Try to find out what the issue is, what the deal is, why they're going down this road to, make you feel jealous about this, that, or the other, whatever it is, because it's not always a person. Sometimes they can try to make you feel jealous with the things that they're doing in life. Maybe they're trying to make you feel a certain kind of way about their successes, or even their hobbies, their activities outside of the marriage. They can make you feel jealous, try to make you feel jealous about friendships, all kinds of things. And it could be as an attempt because they're feeling a certain kind of way about something and they want you to feel a certain kind of way. So try to get down to the root of, why this issue of this person trying to make you feel jealous in a marriage, why they're going down this road, why this is entering your relationship, because that can be a huge issue when you're dealing with jealousy in a marriage. And that's typically the type of things that, get people hurt and get people killed, to be quite honest with you, is when they're going down jealousy roads. If they're not feeling assurance, if they are, usually it's a reason because they're upset about something. 9 times out of 10, somebody's upset and they're trying to make you feel jealous about it. So you really have to try to get down, again, call them to the carpet and try to get down to the root of the reason why they're going down this road with you. One of the next ways that gamers try to play games is when they're being vague or unclear about something. This is when the gamer is trying to keep you in the dark about something that they may not want you to know. Maybe they're trying to hide something about their past. Maybe they don't want you to know something about a particular situation, or their intentions, about the relationship, all kinds of things that can cause a person to be unclear or vague in maybe, vague in a relationship. It could be that, so we see this in all kinds of ways, right? So for instance, they could be trying to hide a surprise for you, right? So they're being vague and unclear because they don't want you to be on to their surprise. Or it can look like an attempt to protect us from something, like maybe they don't want us to be hurt from something. So they'll be vague and unclear because they don't want us to know something that may upset us or hurt us. So that's one thing. Or it could look like they're trying to hide a bad habit or something from their past, or, some type of criminal activity, or maybe they're just afraid to be honest about their feelings and what they're feeling in the relationship. They're not ready to talk about it yet. So they're being real vague and unclear about, who they are and what they're feeling and all that kind of stuff. So how do we combat this? Well, we try to work to get some kind of clarity, exit exit the conversation, right? If they're not being clear, if they're not going to, tell the truth, or if we feel like they're trying to be manipulative, then say, hey, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not sure where you're going with this. I don't understand, why you're not being clear or whatever. But when you're ready to talk, or when you're ready to let me know what's going on, then, we're good. But if not, other than that, try to work to get some clarity, try to find out what's going on. Hey, say something that helps them to understand that you're there to, be in relationship with them. So if there's something that they're worried about, if there's something that they feel that they can't tell you, then reassure them of who you are, what your intentions are in the relationship, that you are, if they say something to you, express something to you, that it can stay between the two of you. It doesn't have to be, something that will be spread or go beyond the two of you. Or it could be, you could, if they don't feel comfortable telling you or talking to you about it, see if they feel comfortable talking to someone else about it, and let them, help them find someone that they can feel comfortable with and saying the things that they want to say. Or if it's an issue where they're trying to protect you from something, they don't want you to know something because they feel that it may hurt you, let them know that if there is something going on outside of the relationship and you're worried about me finding out, I promise, it will be better for me to find out from the initial source rather than, hearsay from others. So, let them know, how typically you would respond to something, and then they'll typically be more open to talk with you and feel more comfortable with expressing what it is they need to express. Or another thing that is also good is if someone is uncomfortable talking, or you feel like they're hiding something, you can say, hey, why don't you write it down? Write me a letter, shoot me an email, text me, whatever it is, and I'll read it. And then if you want to talk about it later, then we can talk about it. So there's several ways that you can deal with that sort of, that tongue that is trying to, hide something, or being unclear or not telling the whole truth. So those are some different ideas to prevent them from holding back and being fully honest about what it is that they need to say. Nobody likes surprises. One of the worst things you can deal with in a relationship is finding out something, months or years down the line that you could have been told up front, right? That it never goes over well when we try to hide things from people. Now, mind you, we may not be able to know every single detail about a person's life, right? It's not realistic. Things happen. But those big ticket items that most of the time we know, those big ticket items, it's usually best to be as honest and, upfront as you can about your past, your life, your history, all that type of stuff, so that, there's no surprises that can come up and hurt you down the road. And often when we're holding, surprises and holding critical, valuable, potentially dangerous or situation, things that have happened in our lives, when they come up later, and it's the very thing that the enemy will try to hold over you. Like, that you haven't told them this, they don't know that about you, and it's that thing that you're always constantly worried about and thinking about, or you forget about, and then it pops up and you realize, I hadn't talked to this person about this, and now it causes major damage to the relationship. So when you could have talked about it up front, when I'm in the dating phase of a relationship or before I met my husband, we talked about everything. Like I was like, I need you to put it on the table. I need to know as much as I need to know because I don't ever want to be I didn't want that feeling. Neither one of us wanted to have that feeling of somebody else knows something about us that our spouse doesn't know, and they feel like, I know this about your spouse and you don't know that, right? So that way we could, and it may be difficult. You may have to have some things that are difficult to hear. But it's better to know than for me, it's better to know than not know. Things that have happened in the past or whatever. If you love the person and you want to be in good relationship with the person, as much as you can know about them as possible, that's what helps create that safe space in a relationship. When you know that you have nothing to hide, when you have nothing to fear, and that you're fully accepted for who you are and who you've even been, right? So, and that's a beautiful way to start off any type of relationship, a friendship, a dating relationship, or a married relationship, or a work relationship, right? A business partner. As much as you can know about the person, in their business matters and different things, then that just creates a safe space for you all to work together and be connected and bonded in a really positive and great way. So another way that gamers try to play games is when they're doing the silent treatment, right? How often does this enter into a relationship? We get upset with somebody, or they're not doing what we want them to do, and so we do the silent treatment. We stop talking to them. This is actually the most dangerous game to play in a relationship because it leaves the most room for the enemy to come in and wreak havoc in the relationship. When we are silent, when we don't talk about the things that are, going on that we're upset with, that we're dealing with, stuff gets into the enemy. The enemy will get into our head, will get into our thoughts and cause, people to think all kinds of things. It typically causes us to think the worst of a person or the worst of a situation. We'll begin to question the person's intentions behind everything that was last said or that was last done, right? We begin to question, like we have time to look back over, what they said or what they did and start thinking, putting more into it than what actually may be. So we may start questioning what they're doing outside the relationship. We may start questioning what they're doing within the relationship. We may even start questioning whether or not they even want to be in relationship. So, the silent treatment does all kinds of things that is dangerous for a relationship and especially a marriage. So, this is one of the worst games to play. So how do we combat this? Well, eventually somebody has to speak, right? And we can get caught up in our pride and say, I'm not going to talk. I always have to be the one to go to them, right? That's the thing that we say to try to convince ourselves to stay quiet. It doesn't matter. Let that go. Let that go. If you always have to be the one to go, it's better for you to go than for you to open the relationship to the risk of, other things happening. So try not to get caught up. Are you guilty of that? I get quiet. Yeah. And I do too. I think most people who, if you care about a person, you get quiet first. I do, because I know what I'm capable of, right? I don't want to say things that I may regret later. So often I will get quiet because I want to, process and think through. And my husband and I, he's the same way. So we typically will get quiet for a period of time, but the danger comes in when we let that time get too long, right? If you got, usually a day is enough, but when we start letting days go by, weeks go by, months go by, and we haven't talked about a situation, or we're still not talking at all, and when we first got married, there would be long periods of time that would go by, and it's the worst thing, right? It's the worst thing because there's always that tension. Even though you're not talking, there's still that tension. So the best thing to do is to talk. So, we have tried to get better with that, and talk, because it does get to a place where it starts to get dangerous, right? So, don't get caught up in those negative thoughts of thinking this or assuming that or wondering this, and, or just not wanting, being too prideful. Go up to the person, talk to them and say, hey, I know we haven't talked. I know we're not talking. I know there's this elephant in the room. So can you tell me a time that you're willing to, talk about this, and try to set an appointment, a time, find a safe space for you all to talk, a good time for you all to talk, let them set the time. So that way, that you're going to have their attention. You're not trying to get them to talk about something at a time where they're busy, when they're dealing with something, if they're, doing something that they enjoy doing. And, try to be mindful of the time, because you want it to be an effective and meaningful conversation. You want to be able to, accomplish something, and let them know, I want to talk about this. And, this is what I hope we can come to some sort of conclusion on, or let them know what you want to accomplish out of the conversation. So that way they know your intentions, because if they think that you're trying to just, cause more problems or cause more anger or do more yelling or whatever, then they're not going to want to be a part of that. But if they know, I want us to work this out. I want us to find some sort of compromise. I want us to come up with some sort of solution, or some way that we can find to agree to disagree or whatever, then they know, okay, they're trying to come at me in peace, right? It's kind of like holding the white flag, and getting them to be willing to talk. Okay. Because when they don't know what your intentions are, they may not be willing to talk. Shanita says, the longest I've gone is 2 weeks, but that's because I didn't want to be the first one to break. Yeah, I know. I have been guilty of that myself, Shanita. I promise you. It's like I'm always the one. I don't want to, go to them. If they want this to work, then they have to come to me. I know. I've been there, Shanita. I truly understand. Hello, Apostle. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome this morning. We are talking about that gaming type tongue, that person who likes to play games. 2 weeks. Yes, can I be candid? That's not good. It's not good. It's not good. 2 weeks is 1 week is way too long to me. Like I said, a day is typically long enough. A good night of sleep over a situation, wake up in the morning to a fresh new start is better. But that those types of time frames enter because we allow our pride to get in the way. And that's mostly pride. So we have to, get over our pride, think about what we want from the relationship. Do we want to be in relationship with this person? Do we want to, have good relations with this person? Then we have to put what's more important over what's not. Because think about how often have we heard that, someone passes away or gets sick or some tragedy happens, and when we were at odds with each other and hadn't spoken to each other in, days or weeks or months or even years, sometimes when it's family members, and we didn't get to say that thing that we wish we would have said. And so that's another part of that danger in not talking to, playing that silent treatment for too long. Like I said, we just allow the enemy to come in and wreak havoc on our mental thoughts, and our words and all that. And so it's just very dangerous to play that silent treatment. So try as much as possible to, not let too many days go by. And I know it's hard. I'm not telling you because I've had to do it myself. I know it's difficult. So just, bite your tongue, and then once you have that talk, once you talk about it, you feel so much better. And especially if you all get something accomplished and you remove that tension that's in the relationship, you just feel so much better. Like, I'm so glad we got past that, we can move back into that good space where we're, loving on each other and enjoying each other and conversating with each other, because often the person that we're in relationship with is 9 times out of 10 your best friend. And it can be very difficult when something goes on and you want to tell them something because you're excited about something that happened, or you just want to run down something that happened in your day, and you have to think, oh yeah, we're not talking. That's a very frustrating place to be, to have to mentally remind yourself to not speak to someone, especially if they're your best friend and they're that person that you sort of bounce everything off of. So, do what you can to try to get over that and just say what needs to be said. Think about it as long as you need to, not more than a day, and then try to, figure out how you can, humble yourself and get back down into the get back into talking. All right. So it's been about 30 minutes. So I'm usually on here just for about 30 minutes. Before you all leave, I just want you all to know on Friday, I Am Content, a lady who does, also has a YouTube channel, is doing these YouTube Love Awards. And I'm just so honored. I can't believe I've been nominated for several categories over there. It's sort of like, oh, True Fan. Hey, how are you, True Fan? Yes, I totally need to work on this. I get quiet. Yes. Yes, we do too. I suffer the same thing. So, the YouTube Love Awards on Friday was voting day for that. So, and I've been nominated in a couple of different categories. So if you all don't know who she is, go over there, check her out. You'll see, I think she's going to post it on Friday. You can go and vote for me in whatever category you want. I'm in several, so which it's kind of nice because, you can hopefully get to vote for all your favorite people. I know I'm happy about the people that I get to vote for. So it's it's just sort of like her version of a People's Choice Awards for small YouTubers. And it's just such a thoughtful thing. So I'll probably put out a video tomorrow just to remind people and, put the link into the description so you all can go and vote if possible. If this channel is providing you any sort of value, I would appreciate your vote. All right. So I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we'll head out of here. All right. Thank you so much, Apostle. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Shanita. You have mine too. That's right. You're on there as well. So I'm excited. I was happy to get to vote for you. All right. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for who you are in our lives. Thank you for loving us in spite of our so many faults. Lord, we make decisions every day that are outside of your will. And yet, in spite of those mistakes that we make, in spite of our sins, in spite of our faults, you continue to provide for us, love on us, bless us above and beyond what we deserve. Lord, help us to show that same grace and mercy and kindness to others. Help us to honor the people that are in our lives the way you honor us, the way you love on us. Help us to not play games with people, to realize the danger in playing games when we've taken things too far, when we've when we're trying to manipulate a person or control a person or coerce people into doing the things that we want to do. Father, you are Lord over our lives. So we have no business trying to run or manipulate anyone else's life on earth. Father, that is your job to do, to guide us and lead us where we are. So Father, help us to get over our tendencies of mistrust, our tendencies of maybe not feeling needed or valuable, whatever it is we're dealing with. Help us to get over these things. Help us to deal with those issues to you rather than playing games to try to manipulate the people that we're in relationship with. Help us to humble ourselves, to keep you first in our thoughts, to keep you first in our relationships and in our marriages. Lord, guide us each and every day on the way that we should go, the things that we should say, the things that we should do. Help us to keep our minds and our mouths centered around your word and the things that you desire for us. I pray for every person in this chat who may be dealing with a gamer or who maybe has those gaming tendencies. We all in some way have these this ability to play games with people. But Lord, help us to remember that is not who we're called to be, and help us to walk in your ways, in the way, in truth and honesty, and straightforwardness and love and kindness, and to keep that first and foremost on our tongues always. We love you. We thank you. Ask these things in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, everyone, I will see you all. I hope you all have an awesome, beautiful day. And tomorrow I will have a lesson out, and then I'll be back here on Friday for another lesson, ABCs of tongue types. And I think Friday, hey, Chef, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see, Friday is, H, the hit and run tongue. This is that hit and run tongue. This is that person that says something to you and then boom, exits the conversation. It's kind of like they've said something that offends you or, hurts you, and then they walk off as if they did nothing, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday. So if y'all are up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Eastern or 4 or 3, come back on Friday and we'll be talking about that. You all have a great day, and I will see you all. Take care. Be the light, guys.